Hello, good day, and welcome to the Startup Stop. If you're thinking about starting a business, or if you've recently launched one, you're in the right place. We're here to answer questions from new entrepreneurs from different parts of the world. My name is Roger Pierce. I am a startup expert, and my lovely co-host today is Lily Ma. Lily, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be back, Roger. I know it's been a couple of weeks, but we're back into the full swing of things. I have a lot of questions from different entrepreneurs, so I'm excited to get some answers from you as well.
It is great to be back, and I look forward to seeing the questions today. I know we've got some people out there who need some answers.
Exactly.
Ready when you are.
All right, so let's get right into it. So the first question comes from Charisma, and she is writing from Dubai. So she's asking, I have created a website for my startup business and I need advice as to which will be best suited for me, an investor or a business partner. I need funds to put into advertisement and into my business growing of course, I would like to make the right decision. Also, can I ask money for my idea in the sense that it is an intellectual property and I came up with? So when looking for a business partner, should I ask for a certain amount for the idea as well? So there's a couple of different parts here that we can address, Roger. It's a business partner, investor, and also intellectual property. So lots of things going on here.
Very interesting question. Well, thank you, Charisma, all the way from Dubai. Great to get those questions from different parts of the world. A couple of thoughts. Number one, an investor can also be your business partner, but a business partner doesn't need to be an investor. Let me explain that. So you can take money from somebody. I've had half a dozen business partners over the years, some good, some not so great, as it turns out. But, a business partner can be someone who puts in sweat equity or puts in real equity. Sometimes you want both. In that case, the business partner is also an investor in the company, or maybe you both are. An investor might be someone who just puts money in but doesn't work with you alongside day to day. Really has an arm's length relationship with the business, much like you see on popular television shows. Here in Canada, we've got Dragon's Den. In the States, I'm sure you watch Shark's Tank. Those are investors that are saying, look, we'll put some money into your business in exchange for a return. Hopefully when we sell the business, or some money along the way. So understand there's a difference between a business partner and an investor. They don't necessarily have to be the same thing. I'd rather you take on an investor and outsource any services or skills you think you're lacking to an outside supplier or an employee. Not that I'm jaded against business partners. I think business partners can be a great way to grow your business. However, you might be giving away too much too soon. Is there a way for you to take on an investor that can give you some money, can help you build your business using that cash, and will take some proceeds from the sales? Of course, they're also going to want perhaps shares in your business and a clear exit strategy, but these are pretty typical things for an investor to request. So for instance, on Shark's Tank or Dragon's Den, those types of shows, you'll often see some of the investors or sharks or dragons say, look, I'll give you $100,000. I want 20% of the company and 5% royalty on sales. So that might be an arrangement where the investor can retake some of their money back. They're comfortable. You get some cash in, but you don't have to worry about someone actually owning too large a piece of your business. So a business partner will typically want, half of the business or a third of the business if there's 3 people. An investor will usually take a smaller amount depending on how much they put in. So I'd really like to see you try an investor first. If that doesn't work out, you might want to go back and look at someone who has both the money and the skills that you need and can form a part of your company. What are your thoughts on this, Lily?
I agree too. Business partners is basically you're getting married to that person. It's important to find the right business partner, and I find that in my coaching practice, I've seen people kind of jump in a little too early with different business partners, and they end up giving away too much of their business. So really trying to go with an investor first for a small amount of your business versus giving away half of it. And usually what I have seen that the work is not divided. unless you love this person and your values are firmly aligned and you've worked together before and they really make up for your weaknesses, then it's great. But in Charisma's situation, I don't think that's the case. I think she's just trying to figure out what's a better option. So if you were to ask me, the better option would be having an investor as well.
Next question is, where do you find those type of people? And I always recommend local chambers of commerce. You can go to angel investor networks. You can talk to your accountant or your lawyer, your banker. These are the types of sources where you'll find possible investors.
Yeah, sounds good. I like it. Okay. So the second question comes from Monica. Monica is so it's a long, so I'm going to read it. It says, she's saying, what is the best way to get out of knowledge to people? I have been working on a tax profession now for more than 15 years between working in public accounting and corporate tax. I want to share and help people really understand new tax reform and how many deductions for most people are disallowed now. I'm instructing my clients, but I don't feel that it is enough. I have a passion and desire to share this knowledge, but not sure how to present.
Very good. I wonder if this person is a CPA or something. Great question, Monica. Thank you very much. You know, what you're looking for is a vehicle to leverage your knowledge, to spread your knowledge, to be able to scale and disperse your knowledge. And you're lucky you're living in the age of the internet, because that's definitely going to be part of your solution. I think you should look to some sort of online learning platform. There are lots of existing platforms you can use to publish, say, videos like Vimeo or YouTube. Here we are. Start to capture your knowledge and your advice, maybe in a weekly podcast. Sound familiar, Lily? And then start to share it and build a subscriber list and build an email list. Have it backed up by a website. Once you create your videos or your online learning, you can spread the word through social media. You know, you give people a little taste of it, a taste of your advice in social media. Twitter is a great vehicle for that, 140 characters or less. You could even publish a little ebook, which might be a designed piece of literature that's 5 to 10 pages, offering some of your best tips or some snippets again of your advice. And again, that ties back into your online learning or your videos. Bottom line is, people want convenience. Podcasts too, by the way, Monica, are quite popular right now in terms of advice sharing. So I want you to explore all of these options. And people want something that's convenient, something they can listen to while they're at the gym or in their car or commuting. I run a lot of webinars for accountants, and some of them will tune into the webinars, but most people will just look forward to the recording, because then they can listen to it and watch it after the fact at their own convenience. So you want to think like that, to be able to give up your knowledge in a scalable way, but in a convenient way for the consumer. Now, how do you make money from all this? Well, that's the big trick. You have to decide early on, are you in the business of selling your advice through these online portals, or are you using the online portals to pull people into your main product, your main service, which is maybe a consulting service or a seminar or something that's more one-on-one. You got to figure out the best business model for you. I'm a big fan of giving away free information, much like Lily and I are doing here today. So maybe you can use that to pull people to your core paid consulting service or your accounting service, if that's what the end game is. Lily, I know you've got some experience with this field too.
I do, and I work with a lot of content creators, and first is, like what you were saying, is giving out free knowledge. I think that's very important. And it sounds to me, in Monica's situation, she just really wants to help people, and she wants to share her knowledge that she has accumulated over 15 years. A couple of strategies that I have helped my clients put together is, first, you give away free information on a YouTube channel. Say, for example, you're using YouTube, but it could work for an email list. It could work for an ebook. You collect the email addresses, and you have to deliver value after value after value. And then at the end, you could pitch a product or service. But the important part is that deliver as much value as possible. I'm a strong believer in that. I live my world in 70-30%. So I will give you 70% of the value, and then I expect 30% in return. So going in right from the beginning and trying to sell your knowledge might put off a lot of people, especially if there's so much information out there. But you also don't want to give away everything and then you're left with nothing either. So finding that balance, however that looks like for you, I'm a strong believer in giving free knowledge first that funnels into some kind of paid service, a consultation or speaking engagement, anything like that. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. And I've helped a lot of clients put the strategy together, and it's working out really well for them.
I'm reminded of a great story. You talked about giving stuff away for free. What was it? Early in the last century, the Jello company that made Jello anyway. You might have heard this, Lily, had trouble getting people to buy the product because they didn't understand what it was, or let alone how to make Jello, which was kind of a new thing at the time. So they came up with a brilliant idea of giving away free recipes, free Jello recipes, and they distributed them apparently through neighborhoods, door to door, and that included a place of where to go and buy the Jello product itself, so they could actually follow the recipes and make the delicious Jello products. So they gave away the information for free, and it led to a product sale.
Yeah,
something we all need to remember. And I really like your formula of 70% away for free and 30% in exchange. So you're on the right track. And Monica sounds like she's got a great business. If she could just figure out the right approach for her, I'm sure she'll be successful too.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I think people generally hate to be sold to. Like no one wants to be sold, but they are looking for information and they are looking for help. So if you're able to provide that information, eventually they will open up and actually buy your product. And that's the formula I've been using, and it's working. And then we're on to our last question, Roger. It's coming from Sarah. She's asking, how can I start a coaching business?
Oh, well, you should start this one, Lily. This is right up your alley.
Okay. I get this question a lot. A lot of people are interested in becoming coaches. And the first thing that I want to mention is that in order to be a coach, whether if you're a business coach, you're a life coach, or you are a fitness coach, the most important part is what coaches do is that we help people. We care about our clients immensely, and it has to come from that place. If I don't believe that Sarah is in this situation, but if you're coming from a place that you think is a lucrative business, which it can be lucrative. If you're coming from a place that you have this giant ego and then you want to give people advice and have this weird power dynamic, then you're not going to be a successful coach. But let's just say that you genuinely care about people, you genuinely care about getting them results, you genuinely care about them transforming their life, then this is the right business for you. A couple of things practically to start with is, number one, you have to decide what you want to do to begin with. Do you want to go to school for coaching? Because there's numerous different certification programs that you can take. You just have to make sure that it's a reputable one, it's a legitimate one that is actually going to give you that much support. Now, this is all in addition to that. If you're the kind of person that want certificates to really build your credibility, you can. However, your certificate is not necessarily going to help you get clients, and is not going to help you, certainly not help you retain clients. What's going to help you get clients and retain clients is actually getting them results. And that comes from doing the actual work. So what I did was, in the beginning, I gave it away for free. So I gave away advice for free. I gave away information for free. And then I started scaling it a little bit, and I started charging a minimal amount. So about 50% of what I charge today. And as my services got better, as I got better as a coach, I started increasing the price little by little. And also with coaches is it's understanding how many clients you want to take on, because that's what's going to dictate your price structure. Another advice that I have for Sarah is a lot of the times it's hard to actually get customers. What I've seen with a lot of life coaches is that they have this knowledge, they went to school for it, and they have a hard time actually gaining clients because people don't know that they exist. A couple of ways of doing it: you could either do direct marketing, which is actually emailing people, contacting people, offering your services. Depends on the kind of person you are. If you love sales, you love outreach, that's the best way to go. You could leverage other people's brands in providing them of value. A lot of my clients come through Evan, and they see me on his channel. They ask me for coaching services. And on the other side is content marketing, which is what I personally love because it speaks to my personality. Right now, I give away a lot of free information on my YouTube channel. So I have a daily series called Coach's Corner. So I'm always giving out free suggestions, free advice, free tips, and people contact me for coaching services through there. I'm also on Evan's channel, and I appear on his channel probably once a week, and people get to know me there. So it depends. And you could do it through Instagram as well. You could do it through all social media platform, giving away knowledge, and then people approach you for it. Because when you are a coach, people look at you as the authority in that field, whatever it is, whether if it's personal development, business coaching, fitness coaching, they see you as the authority. So you have to build up your brand that way. And it's not only shiny marketing, it's also doing the work and actually getting people results. So I could talk about this for a long time because this is my business. But I think I'm going to end there. I think it's a good place to start.
Good tips. I wouldn't add much else. I think you're talking about being authentic in your marketing, right?
Yeah,
which you are. It comes across very naturally and genuinely, and that's going to engage you, lots of clients, wherever you go.
Yeah. Authenticity is where it's at right now, especially when it comes to coaches. I think there are so many people out there who are selling a dream and not actually delivering it. It actually makes me really sad to see that. There are a lot of coaches out there who's promising certain results that is just not realistic, and it's letting people down. And that's why I started off by saying that you actually have to care about your clients. I think about my clients almost every single waking moment of my day because I care so much. And that's how you have long-term clients. And as coaches, you want ongoing clients. You don't want one-off clients, because just to kind of sign them on, deal with the payments, do with this, do that, getting to know them, you want them to stay with you. So I have a large amount of ongoing clients I see on a regular basis. So that way I could track their progress. And that comes from care, of actually caring about their business and caring about their well-being.
Well done. I wouldn't add anything else. Great advice. I hope Sarah appreciates it.
I love it. Yes, I could send this information to Sarah as well. I do know Sarah.
Okay, please do. Good idea. So shall we go on to today's Startup Stop suggestion, Lily?
Yes, please.
Every week we offer a little bit of a bonus tip, something that's on our minds. And today it's about not taking on too much. Don't take on too much at once. Does anybody else have this problem? I know I certainly have this challenge.
I'm guilty of this.
Sure. It's exciting. It's easy to get excited about new projects and want to jump in. That's the entrepreneur can-do attitude, right? But taking on too much at once can take the fun out of a project or a business. And if you take on too much, you can often feel overwhelmed and frustrated because you're not making as much progress in any one thing, and it's just all kind of piling up. Perhaps you've had that experience before. I think that's why, entrepreneurship is all about getting to know your strengths and your weaknesses and playing to your strengths and delegating or off-putting your weaknesses and letting someone else pick up that stuff. So it's important to get to know yourself in terms of what you're good at and what you're not good at. And that part of that, getting to know yourself really well, is a good, honest assessment, Lily, of what you can get done in a day reasonably. It may not be a mountain, it might be more of a hill that you can climb in a day. So let's break it down into reasonable journeys. When do you need to take a break? What motivates you? What are your blind spots during the day? Is it social media? Does that distract you? Do you need to turn those things off? Phone calls? How do you like to work? And what could possibly take you away from accomplishing your objectives for the day? When we take on too much, we end up sabotaging our businesses and not getting nearly as much of the important things done. So, take a good hard look at yourself and what you can accomplish. Try to estimate reasonably how much time something will take to complete. I know I'm still struggling with this. I think, oh my gosh, it'll take me 4 hours maybe to write that article or prepare that ebook, and maybe it'll take me longer than that. So really a good honest assessment of how much you can get done in a day and make your task lists accordingly. Biting off more than you can chew has its consequences. I've definitely learned that in the past because it can affect your reputation. Instead of being a doer, which you are, you run the risk of being perceived as someone who fails to accomplish goals and doesn't deliver or just makes excuses for not getting things done. And that is counterproductive and counterintuitive to the genuine and authentic brand you're trying to create. So really, taking on too much, while it might seem noble at the beginning, can actually come around full circle and haunt you and damage your reputation and affect your ability to serve customers, which at the end of the day, of course, is what being in business is all about. So try not to take on too much, smaller bites at a time, and just tackle one thing at a time. That's today's Startup Stop suggestion.
I love
Lily,
it.
what are your thoughts, Lily?
I agree. And like I said, I am guilty of that as well. And I'm still working through it. Someone gave me this advice that this is what he follows. He has a 24-hour rule. So what that is, he doesn't commit to something within the 24 hours of being asked. So that's an interesting thing because he says that if he still wants to do it 24 hours later, or he's thinking about it, then it's the right thing for him, because he's the kind of person that gets really excited and in the moment, and he takes on way too much. And so if you ask him something, he's like, can I get back to you in 24 hours? Let me have a think, and then I'll get back to you. So he could clear his mind. So I don't know. I think that might be a little, that might be an interesting thing for me to try as well, because I get very excited in the moment and I would say yes to a lot of things. But maybe 24-hour cool off period might help.
The same thing applies to shopping, right? You really want to buy something, but instead of impulse buying, wait 24 hours and see if you still feel the same way about the item.
Yeah, it's so true. I'm guilty of that too. I have been there as well, but I'm working through it. I think it's one thing to add is having a very strict schedule, which is what I have. I have a very strict schedule, and I actually schedule in time for me to spend time on my own. Otherwise, I just won't do it. I'll work all day long and I just wouldn't take a break. So I do give myself certain evenings off, and it's scheduled, and it reminds me to take that evening off. Otherwise, I'll just work throughout the day and evening.
Absolutely, and nothing wrong with that. Or maybe if people have family responsibilities or things that they have to account for. It's very easy to get all wrapped up in entrepreneurship. It's such an exciting career, and of course I'm biased, but so many people want to start businesses and grow businesses, and they want it to happen yesterday, but really, you've got to pace yourself. I always say to people, entrepreneurship is a marathon, not a sprint. So, prepare for the endurance run. Take lots of breaks. Don't take on too much. Power up. Get lots of help. All that good advice.
Yeah, I love it. And you would know. You've been at this for a long time.
Someday I'll learn from my mistakes. That's for sure. Well, that's it for me. Lily, anything else to add?
No, that's it. I think this has been amazing. I'm excited to be back up and running every single week, and even better questions coming next week as well.
There you go. We are back Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So on behalf of Lily, Roger, thank you so much. We'll see you next week on the Startup Stop.
Yeah, thank you so much.